Hey, man, I'm Jusko from ProudMoney.com. Redstone Federal Credit Union has gone crazy. They've gone bonkers, lost their minds. This deal won't last. So I caught wind of the changes to the Redstone Federal Credit Union Visa Signature Card on my FICO on the discussion boards this morning, and then also saw that on Reddit they are talking about it too. It's sort of like someone at Redstone, maybe a few people, maybe they went out drinking one night and they said, we should do this and this and this, and someone just said, screw it, let's do it, because the card is amazing if it could last. Because here is what it is offering. No annual fee, 5% cash back on gas, 5% cash back at restaurants, 3% at grocery stores, 3% at wholesale clubs, 3% at discount stores, 3% on utilities, 3% on phone services, 3% on streaming, and 1.5% on everything else that you purchase with the card. And it has no foreign transaction fees, and it has a bonus opportunity of $150 if you spend $3,000 with the card in the first 3 months of having it. Yeah, right? Now, there are going to be a few nitpickers out there who always find the downside of everything, and they're going to say, well, Adam, you didn't talk about the caps. So let's talk about the caps. On each one of these 5% and 3% categories, there is a yearly cap of $7,000 worth of purchases. So once you went over $7,000 in the gas category or the restaurant category, etc., you would then go from the 5% or 3% or whatever you were getting down to the standard 1.5% cash back that all purchases on this card get. But $7,000 per year is an average of $583 per month, which is a pretty generous cap in my opinion. Yeah, maybe in the groceries, maybe in the restaurants if you eat out a lot, maybe you go over that in a year. But even if you go over it, you're still getting 1.5% on those purchases. And as a whole package for no annual fee card, you can't beat it. In fact, I think it's even better than the Aerospace Federal Credit Union credit cards that I have long thought of as the holy grail of credit union credit cards that a very, very small number of people can get their hands on. But this one, more people can potentially get their hands on. But the bad news is this credit card is unsustainable. It cannot last. I give it 6 months before they either take the bonus away or scale back the rewards or add an annual fee. I'm guessing the way it will go is they'll take the bonus away first. Eventually they'll have to scale back the rewards. I don't think they'll add an annual fee because I think they want to keep it as a no annual fee card. But once people get wind of this, there are going to be a lot of people that come into this credit union for the credit card in particular, and it's got to be a money loser, which means Redstone Federal Credit Union must be assuming that they can make it up with other products. They can get people into their checking and savings and loans and that sort of thing and have a money-losing credit card that will be made up for in other places. I don't know if that's true because a lot of people, if they're coming from outside of the geographical area that Redstone normally serves, they're probably coming for this credit card and nothing else. Which brings up the question, should you get this credit card? This is not as easy as just filling out an application and they send it to you. You have to join the credit union. You have to open a savings account as a new member. It's a little more paperwork, a little more to deal with. Now, if you live in the geographical area that Redstone generally serves, which is sort of like Huntsville, Alabama, north to a city that I've never said before, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and sort of the surrounding areas around that, well then sure, go for it, because you've got a credit union that is in your area. You are going to have an easy time qualifying as a member. But if you're not in the geographical area, it's a little more of a question because of the fact that you have to have some way into the credit union to be a member. Now, there aren't that many hoops to go through, but if you aren't within those geographical areas, if you're not, don't have an employer in one of those areas, or you're not part of an association in one of those areas, you wouldn't qualify for membership. But there are a couple back doors where you could join an association that would allow you to gain membership to the credit union. But that then means that you would go through something like this financial fitness association where you got to pay $8 a year, and then you're part of that, and then that gives you access to become a member of Redstone Credit Union. Do you want to jump through those hoops for a card that 6 months from now might not be what it is today? That is the question. And it's not only the fact of becoming a member, but you should also know that when it comes to giving out the rewards, you actually do have the choice of some travel rewards or gift cards or merchandise rewards. But for most people, probably going to think of this as a cash back card. But if you want it as a cash back card, that cash back has to go into a Redstone savings or checking account. So that's where the money is going. Now, obviously, you can get that money out if you want to. But if you're outside of that geographical area, the idea of having to open another savings or checking account and having your credit card rewards go into it might not seem worth it. Now, one thing I want to mention, if you do pursue the Redstone Visa Signature, is that it has sort of a strange points reward program, or the structure of the program is a little weird. So yes, all the numbers I said are right, the 5% cash back in certain categories, the 3%, but the way they give it is in points, and each point is worth 1/2 cent when you redeem for cash back. So what that means is when you're getting 5% back on gas, for example, you're actually getting 10 points per dollar, but each one of those points would be worth 1/2 cent. So you'd be getting 5 cents per dollar, which is the 5%. You could think of the same thing with the 3% is 6 points per dollar. The 1.5% on any categories that don't fall into the other ones would be 3 points per dollar. So it's kind of a weird way to do it, and I don't like it when credit cards do this because the sort of penny per point valuation that we often think of in our minds makes it easier to sort of assess what a card is giving you oftentimes. This is a way that they sort of use to just sort of inflate the points numbers in a way, and it almost feels like play money at some point. So making each point worth 1/2 cent is really, in this card especially, an unnecessary thing to do because it's already such a great deal. For me personally, because I have so many credit cards that have enhanced rewards in these categories, it doesn't necessarily make sense for me to jump through some of these hoops to go after this card, but you know what? 6 months from now, if it looks like this is holding up, it may be something that I would consider. Would love to hear your thoughts on it. Put those in the comments section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching, and as always, please go to proudmoney.com where we do credit card reviews, we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. If you're not going to leave a comment or you're not going to go to the website, next, watch this video.